Okay, our guest this evening is somebody that I'm sure is no stranger to anyone in our audience. He began his career in show business at the age of 11, and since then, he's done television, movies, radio, cartoon voiceovers, and not to mention that his former band has seen 17 albums go platinum, as well as 1 album and 6 singles go gold. Most recently, he can be seen on the CMT reality show Goin' Country, and on April 17th through the 19th, he'll be appearing and performing at the Chiller Theater Convention in New Jersey. It's an honor to welcome to the Pepper Paul Show this evening, former drummer and lead singer of the Monkees, Micky Dolenz.
Hey! Yay! Great introduction. I need a copy of that.
You got it. Yeah, well, everywhere you go, you can just drag me with you, and I can give you that introduction.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us tonight.
Thank you. Thanks very much for the call.
So, Micky, this is a return appearance for you to the Chiller, is that correct?
Yes. I did it last year, and to be honest, I didn't expect to be invited back, because usually they skip a couple of shows for the celebrities, obviously, to keep everything fresh. But they did invite us back, and I'm thrilled to be coming back. I had a great time last year.
Well, for anybody who doesn't know anything about this is a horror movie convention, and can you tell us a little bit about it and your own horror movie experience?
Well, to be honest, I haven't had a whole lot. There's more than just horror movies. There's a lot of sci-fi. It started out, I think, as just horror movies, but now it's turned into a huge multi-genre, celebrity thing. It does tend to focus on sci-fi, fantasy, and that, to be honest, is what kind of got me interested in the first place. I had never done these shows before, but I'm a huge science fiction and fantasy, Star Trek, Star Wars fan. So when I heard about what it was all about, I just had to go and check it out. And I go there, and I'm one of the, when I'm not signing autographs, I'm walking around, buying up little bits of memorabilia from like Davy Earth Stood Still. It's really cool. I have done a couple of horror movies in my time, not a lot. The last year, the reason I think I got asked was because I had just been in a film, a Rob Zombie's version of Halloween, where I did a cameo for Rob. And so I think that's the thing that might have triggered that first appearance.
And, Micky, this is Pepper Paul. It's great talking with you, and I just want to let you know, last year when you were up there at the Chiller, my daughter goes to college. My daughter Katrina, she's up there in Fairleigh Dickinson University, so it's real close, and a group of the girls got together and went to the Chiller Theater because they heard that you were there. No other reason but that. And in the middle of the show, when they asked you to come up and you came up on stage, she called me at home and held the phone in the air and said, he's on stage, he's on stage. I heard about 2 words from all the screaming, but it was great.
Yeah.
So we were really impressed. That was really impressed. You impressed a lot. It's nice you're impressing the younger generation. They're still following you. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm just got back from a gig in Pennsylvania, and then I have another one coming up in New Jersey again in a month or two. So I've been doing a lot of shows, a lot of concerts, and I'm going out in another show. In fact, we'll be in Westbury with the Teen Idols, myself, Mark Lindsay, and Peter Noon. We're going out and doing a little bit of a tour this summer. I'm having a great time,
As I mentioned in the introduction, you were just recently a contestant on the country music television reality show Goin' Country. How was that experience for you?
It was great. I've been asked to do a lot of reality shows over the last few years. I've turned them all down virtually, and then I heard about this one, and they offered it to me, and I looked at one of the earlier seasons, and it wasn't, it's not one of those really awful kind of backstabbing, treachery, kind of dramatic shows, which I don't like. I have enough backstabbing, treachery in my life. It's called the music business.
That's called life in general, I think.
Yeah, right, life in general. So it's really an upbeat show. I don't know if you saw it, but it's a lot of fun. John Rich is incredible. I'm such a huge fan of John now. And the show was, upbeat and just uplifting and all about country life and country music, which have always been a fan of. My mom was from Austin, Texas, and my earliest recollections are listening to, Sons of the Pioneers. So I have a bit of a country background myself to some degree, and I had a great time. I really enjoyed doing the show.
Well, you did a little bit of a thing on American Idol, too, a while back, didn't you?
No, I didn't actually perform or anything. I was just there in the audience, and they said hi, and then I did a little bit of I sang along with they did a charity music video for one of their charities, and I helped them out with that. But I like the show. My wife's crazy about the show. I watch it a little bit when she does. And, there's some great talent that's come out of that show.
Yes, it has.
Well, my wife watches it too, so do I. But it gets you hooked.
Did you watch last night?
I did watch last night, yes. What'd you think?
Yeah. I was not surprised. It was, in fact, the two or three bottom three were exactly who I'd call to be in the bottom three.
Who you rooting for?
Well, of the remaining folks, I would say Adam is probably a standout.
Yeah, I think he's the front runner.
You can tell he has a lot of, obviously, a lot of talent, a lot of charisma. He's also had some experience performing in musical theater, I believe. So,
yeah, I think he's got a pretty good background.
Yeah, he has a little bit of an edge up. I love the little redhead girl singer. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I
Liva, no.
but she is good.
Yeah, the other chick I think is great. I liked, last night I liked the guy with the glasses, can't remember his name. I'm not really good with the names, but anyway.
Hi, this is Norm from the Pepper Paul Show. It's a pleasure to talk to you. And we're going to go back in time, back to about the 60s or so, just for a couple minutes here. And I'd like to ask you, how many times a week are you asked about a Monkees reunion, or have those questions kind of died down by now?
No, it's at least 10 times a week.
Oh, really?
And I've learned never to say never. There are no plans right now. There's no dates or anything booked. Somebody's always bringing it up. And I had a conversation with Peter about it a few months ago. But like I say, there are no plans, though I never say never anymore, so you never know.
And that's a good way to handle it.
The Monkees, the thing that's with the Monkees that's sort of unique is that unlike established groups that have been around for years, the Monkees was this television show originally about this imaginary group, and when the show went off the air, of course, the cast of the show, broke up like Star Trek, and so over the years, whenever anybody's wanted to get the Monkees back together, they've had to start from scratch, and track us all down around the world. There's never been a Monkee sort of management or Monkee business or Monkee office anywhere since the 60s. And so that's how it has to happen. Somebody tracks us down and makes me an offer I can't refuse, and there we go.
Well, I'll tell you, I read an interesting number online this week, and it's 28,379, and that is how many signatures there are to get the Monkees, as of March 30th, had that many signatures to get the Monkees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I'm going to say, why the heck aren't you guys in there, and what, as a station, can we do to help?
Well, I appreciate that. It's not really for me to say. I'm not one to go around waving my own banner. I'm very flattered by all the fans and the support, and people such as yourselves and radio stations and television stations. There's been a lot of support. Again, like I say, it's really not for me to say. It is important to understand and that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I actually like and I support, and they do a lot of great charity work, and I love the idea of it. It's not an official Hall of Fame that represents the entire music industry. It's a bunch of guys that, actually very few people, that got together a number of years ago that had some were in the music business, some not, some in journalism, and some in other aspects of the entertainment industry, that just got together and said, we're going to start this sort of private club, and we're going to call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we're going to start inducting our favorite artists. So unlike, say, the National Football League Hall of Fame, which does represent the entire National Football League, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is like a private golf club or something, and they have the right to let into their private club anybody they want, and they can keep out anybody they want. It's private. So I'm not sure a lot of people know that, but that's the truth of the matter.
Well, I'll tell you, if there's anybody that deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, in my opinion, it's the Monkees. And
Well, thank you.
and I don't care, what they say, and they can go have their private club. But I think you guys should be in, and hey, we'll be out there on the front
We're in
lines
good
for
company. You. They won't induct Chicago.
Oh, are you serious?
No.
Well, then you are good. You are in good company, I guess.
We're in good company.
You got maybe you should start your own club.
Right, exactly. Anybody else could. You could start, they call it the Music Hall of Fame or the Pop Hall of Fame. Like I say, it was a bunch of guys that got together and said, we want to start this Hall of Fame, and we're going to let in who we want.
Well, I'll tell you what. You are an honorary inductee to the Pepper Paul of Fame.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. All right, I have one more question for you there. Now, you're no stranger to oldies radio. In 2005, you worked as a disc jockey on WCBS FM in New York radio. Did you have fun with it?
Oh, yeah, it was tough. I'd always wanted to do it, and I, was guest jockey a number of times over the years. I always wanted to do it, and I'll tell you, after doing it, I had even a greater respect and newfound respect for guys like you and girls, of course, and women too that do that. It's a tough job, and especially the morning slot. I did the morning thing at the 4:00 every morning, which was just brutal. And it's tough. People don't realize how difficult it is because unlike, say, acting or stage work or films or television or whatever, you only have one of the senses to work with, and that is sound. All you have is your voice. You don't have your eyes, you don't have your hands, you don't have your feet, you can't, it's just your voice, and you have to convey such an enormous amount of information with just your voice. It was a heck of a challenge. I really enjoyed doing it.
Did you ever think about getting back into radio?
Yeah, I have. As you probably know better than I, the state of the industry now is so crazy with all the cable stuff and all the HD stuff and the satellite stuff, and it's just nuts.
There's always an open invitation for you to host the Pepper Paul Show anytime. Just give us a call.
And we'll just hang out in the background. We'll love it.
We'll
love it anyway.
We were reading your bio, and we found out something about you we had no idea of, and that is that you are Snuggle Bear.
Well, I did a series of commercials, was a few years ago now, where I was the voice of Snuggles the Bear, yeah. And I haven't seen anything on the air recently, but that was a few years ago, yeah. I don't remember. Something like that, I think.
Well, Micky, thank you so much for taking the time to be on with us tonight. And could we ask you one favor, and could you do the station a promo?
Yeah, sure. Hi, this is Micky Dolenz, and you're listening to the Pepper Paul Show on Cruisin 92.1 WVLT.
That's great, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, guys.